This is the Joe MJ401C-XR 14-inch 28-volt 5-amp cordless lawn mower, and I've been using it on my small suburban yard for about 3 months. I picked it because I wanted something light, simple, and cordless, and I was tired of wrestling with a gas mower. From my experience, this machine nails convenience and maneuverability, but it also asks you to work within its limits if you want a smooth mowing routine. Key features matter here because they set expectations. The cutting deck is 14 inches, which is compact and great for tight spaces and small lawns. The whole mower weighs about 23 pounds, so it's easy for me to lift, carry up a couple of steps, or swing around garden beds. The motor is brushless, so it's efficient and ramps up power only when needed done, and it runs off a 28-volt, 5-amp-hour battery. The safety key system is simple. I pop in the little key, press the safety button, and squeeze the handle to start. The bag is a 10.6-gallon catcher that clips on quickly. The handle folds down for storage, which is helpful when I tuck it alongside shelves in a small shed. In my opinion, this setup makes it feel more like a household appliance than a traditional mower. Setup was quick. I attached the handle in a few minutes with a Phillips screwdriver and the hand knobs, charged it, and got to cutting. The first thing I noticed was how quiet it is. It sounds more like a loud vacuum than a mower, and I can talk over it without shouting. Pushing it is nearly effortless. The small wheels are fine on flat ground, and the light weight helps me pivot and back up around tight corners without getting stuck. If you've ever felt like a mower was dragging you around, this is the opposite. Cut quality is decent as long as I keep the grass under control. The mower has 3 cutting heights, and the highest setting is still relatively short compared to most gas mowers. That means I keep it at the top setting most of the time. The blade is steel and does a clean job on well-maintained, dry grass. When I mow every 5 or 6 days, the lawn looks even and tidy. If I let it go for 2 weeks or try to cut damp grass, the motor protests. I can actually hear it rev up when it hits thicker patches, which is the brushless motor adjusting to load. When it's too thick or wet, it can bog down and shut off for a second, and I have to release the handle and start again. To avoid that, I slow my pace, take narrower swaths, or do a second pass in a different direction. That works, but it's a reminder that this is a light-duty mower, not a rescue tool for overgrown yards. Battery life for me has been around a half hour per charge. My yard is small, and I can usually finish in that window as long as I'm not fighting tall patches. When I pushed it in thicker areas, I still got close to 30 minutes, but I had to go slower and restart it a few times. I've seen big square footage claims out there, but time has been the more realistic way to plan. If your lawn takes you an hour to mow with a similar sized deck, you'll likely need a break to recharge, or you'll want to mow more often to keep it easy. The battery is integrated into the mower. That's been a mixed bag. It's simple to charge by plugging in a cord, but I do have to bring the whole mower to an outlet. I don't have a powered outdoor closet, so I wheel it inside to charge, which means I wipe it down after each cut. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it's not as handy as swapping in a spare battery. The bag works, though airflow isn't strong enough to pack it dense when the grass is thick. I empty it more often than I would with a higher powered mower, and sometimes I skip the bag entirely and just let it drop, then blow a rake. On regular maintenance cuts, bagging is fine. On heavier cuts, it fills fast and can clog at the chute if I push it. Durability is the part I watched closely over these 3 months. The deck is plastic, which is how it stays so light. It does feel a bit toy-like, especially compared to steel deck mowers, and the handle has some flex. I tightened the handle bolts after my first 2 mows, just to be sure they'd stay put, and they've been fine since. I haven't had a full failure, but I did run into one mid-mow shutoff on a hot day. Letting it rest for a minute and clearing a clump under the deck fixed it. I've read enough mixed owner stories to know reliability can vary. I keep the underside clean, I don't push it into tall weeds, and I store it in a dry space. So far, that routine has kept it humming. I'm also aware there's a 2-year warranty, which gives me a bit of peace of mind. It's perfect for light, frequent cuts on small, tidy lawns. I have a patchwork of narrow spaces and walkway edges, and the 14-inch deck slips through without me trampling flower beds. I like the safety key because I have kids around, and I like that I can finish a morning mow without smelling like gas. The quiet operation makes it easy to mow earlier in the day without bothering neighbors. The trade-offs become obvious if I let the grass get tall, or if I want a plush, high cut in hot months. The highest setting limits how tall I can keep the turf, so I avoid mowing during the hottest part of the day and leave the clippings sometimes to protect the lawn. From my experience, this mower rewards a little and often approach. If I stick to a regular schedule, I barely break a sweat and the results look clean. If I try to do heavy lifting with it, I spend more time restarting and making extra passes. The charging approach is the biggest friction point in my setup. If you have a garage with a convenient outlet, it'll feel more natural. If you don't, be ready to move the whole machine inside and give it a quick wipe down. In my opinion, the value here is convenience and simplicity. The push is feather light, the controls are obvious, and there's almost no maintenance beyond cleaning the deck and checking the blade. If your lawn fits the target profile, it's a relaxing way to mow. If you need raw power, tall cutting height, or a removable battery system, this isn't going to satisfy you. I'd recommend this for homeowners with small flat lawns under about 2,000 square feet, who plan to mow frequently and want a quiet, easy tool. It's also a nice pick if you need something light to lift and store, or if you're new to mowing and don't want to deal with gas engines. I wouldn't recommend it if you regularly face tall or wet grass, if you want to cut higher than about 2.5 inches, or if you don't have a convenient outlet where the mower can live. In conclusion, the Joe MJ401C-XR is a friendly, lightweight mower that makes sense when you keep expectations in check. It shines as a low-stress maintenance tool, not a heavy-duty machine. I enjoy using it because it fits how I mow and the size of my yard. If your routine looks like mine, it should serve you well. If not, you'll likely find its limits pretty fast. If this video helped, hit subscribe and drop your questions or your own experience in the comments. Thank you for watching.